Ladies and gentlemen, it is Sit Down Zumock podcast, SDZ, Florida's greatest comedian in this bitch. With me is Tyler in the basement, but we have a very special guest. We know him from Inappropriate Earl and the Bad Guys. Ladies and gentlemen, he is on the Ric Flair roast. He's not only performing, he is writing. He's on the jellies. He is once upon a time on Roast Battle. He is the one and only Mr. Earl Skakel. Earl, what's up?
And I'm also now on a second podcast nobody listens to, the Comedy Store Wrestling podcast.
Tyler, do you listen to it? Because you listen to a lot of podcasts.
I can't say I do. I apologize. I will. I'll subscribe to it.
I mean, please do. We're newer. We only got like 10 episodes, but we get some pretty big guests in the wrestling world. So we're hoping to build it.
Who have you had on?
We've had Josh Barnett, who was the UFC heavyweight champ, and he is big in New Japan Pro Wrestling. We've had Rocky Romero, who's in AEW. Fred Rossler is the first openly gay pro wrestler. He was in WWE. Jasmine St. Clair, the porn star, who was in ECW and now is in XPW, which is the really violent Southern California promotion. Like their matches are insane. So we're building it.
Has Pat Patterson ever come out?
As a homosexual, yes, but I don't know if he's come out as a
rapist?
Alleged molester. I mean, it's crazy. The guy still has a job, but should get into comedy.
He could work for Golden Artist Entertainment.
Probably get a gig at Roast Battle after that. Like out of control.
So Tyler, I don't know if you know this, but our buddy Earl, my good friend from West Hollywood that I love, who's one of my favorite people in comedy, is writing and performing on the Ric Flair roast. What do you think about that?
Well, I remember you telling me that last week, and that's it's pretty awesome. Is it in Nashville? Is that right?
Yeah, it's July 29th.
Yeah.
It's kind of a big wrestling weekend because that Friday is the Flair roast. Saturday is SummerSlam in Nashville. And then Sunday is his last match against Jay Lethal and Jeff Jarrett with Ric Flair teaming up with Andrade.
Yeah.
Son-in-law, I think.
Ooh.
But he's good. Like he's in AEW now. And he's, I'm assuming he'll take the heavy bumps and wacky, off the rope type stuff. And then Flair will come in for the close.
Figure 4 leg lock.
Yeah. I mean, I'm assuming they'll have Jay Lethal and Andrade do like the wacky, harder stuff. And then Jarrett and Flair, who I think Jarrett's probably a little younger than Flair. But they'll probably be paired up with each other. And then Jay Lethal, when he was in TNA, he did Black Ric Flair. And it was pretty funny. Like he really studied the moves. And he was also, after he did that, Black Machismo, which was a black macho man. It was pretty funny.
By the way, I live in Tampa, Florida, where Macho Man died.
Oh, really?
Yeah. There's so many wrestlers that live here. You should move here, Earl.
I mean, I'm the king of LA, so I don't think I would ever move anywhere else. But, I often try and get the Comedy Store Wrestling podcast to, like right now we only do in person. So I'm like, we got to do Zoom or Skype or whatever, StreamYard or whatever, because most of the wrestlers live in Tampa or Georgia. So we're going to, struggle for guests eventually.
But on your podcast, Inappropriate Earl, you've had Eric Bischoff. You've had like legendary guys from NWA, WWF, WWE, WCW.
Yeah, I've had Piper, Chavo Guerrero Jr.
Well, you were the co-host of Roddy Piper's podcast. That's pretty cool because everyone always asks me, and I always say, who are your comedic influences? Roddy Piper's in there. It's not Eddie Murphy. It's not George Carlin. Roddy Piper.
Yeah, no, they. I think Piper saw me talking about Sting at the Comedy Store once, and he's like, "Why don't you come on and talk about it?" And because I was mad at how Sting was jobbed out by Triple H at his only WrestleMania, his only match. Well, I think it was one of only 2 matches he ever had in WWE.
That was one of the most petty fucking moves of all time. That WrestleMania.
Oh yeah, it was horrible. Still 8 years later doesn't make sense. But and then Piper's manager after that episode was like, "Hey, why don't you stay on board as like the sidekick, and because you can help Roddy get back on track." Because sometimes Roddy would be telling a story like about the Von Erichs, and then he just start talking about Sid Vicious out of nowhere. So I guided Roddy back into whatever he was talking about in the first place.
You were the linchpin, if you will.
Yeah. I mean, he was 61 at the time he died. So, he was getting up there and, which is crazy because Sting is still wrestling at 63 and Flair at 73. So, Roddy was awesome to work for. I miss him.
There it is. So this is going down in July. You're going to be roasting Ric Flair, the legend himself, the 4 Horsemen. Woo!
I mean, it's Ric Flair, it's Diamond Dallas Page, it's Eric Bischoff, Vicky Guerrero, Tori Wilson. I'm trying to think.
Mario Joyner.
I think Mario Lopez is hosting, possibly, which would be fun. And then I think one of Ric's ex-wives.
One of them.
And I'm sure, and I know they're having some surprise video drop-in spots. Rumor has it maybe The Rock and Cena. So, I mean, everyone loves Ric Flair from the standpoint of other wrestlers. So, maybe Sid Vicious, could pop in. I know you've had him on your podcast.
I co-hosted his podcast, which I still can't believe.
He's one of my favorites.
He was awesome. Sid Vicious was fucking great. He was amazing. I remember he was a tag team with Dangerous Dan Spivey, and they were called the Skyscrapers.
Oh, yeah. I mean, he and his shoot interviews on YouTube are really good. He's very well-spoken for a guy who, in his promos came off like unhinged because he was, which kind of added to his character. But, his promos were almost Ultimate Warrior, like where they didn't make a lot of sense.
And somebody gave me a tidbit. They go, when things start to go south, talk about his softball career because he loves his softball career. He's a amateur softball player. So every time like things were getting weird, I just talk about how great of a softball player he was. And you could see his like, oh yeah, this guy's cool. I like this guy. And he's back engaged.
Oh yeah. He didn't show up at certain pay-per-views because he had a softball tournament. So, which is funny to see a guy that's big.
Amazing.
Yeah. I mean, he would literally no show big house cards and some pay-per-views because he wanted to play softball instead of making millions. He'd rather play.
God, I wish I had that life.
Well, didn't Vince McMahon did Vince McMahon purposely, when he made him Sid Justice, he was trying to replace Hulk Hogan?
I mean, yeah, I think he first tried with the Ultimate Warrior, and then that didn't work out.
Luger
completely. Yeah, I mean, it was. He started first with Warrior, like, okay, this is going to be the guy who replaces Hogan.
WrestleMania 11 in Skydome.
I think that was WrestleMania 6.
In my face.
And then, I mean, Warrior worked out to a degree, and then I think he tried with Sid Vicious, and then Luger. But as crazy as the Ultimate Warrior was, his promos are still talked about, even though they were it was gibberish, basically. So he was almost so bad on the mic, he was good. And Luger wasn't really good on the mic. And then Sid Vicious was, he was okay. So, but he had the look. I mean, what a look. Sid, all three had great look, but Vicious was just gigantic.
Yeah, he was like 6'9", 270 whatever pounds, and just a fucking vicious machine.
Yeah, and I mean Luger had the great body. Luger had almost like a bodybuilder type body.
And Sid Vicious was in the Four Horsemen at one point.
Yeah, briefly. So was Luger.
With Brian Widman. What was his name?
Barry Windham.
Barry Windham. Okay, Brian.
And then I mean, he didn't really work out that long, and Sting was in the Four Horsemen for a minute. So, but most wrestling fans only acknowledge it's like Kiss. The original Four Horsemen were there. I am. There's Pipes.
Earl, where was this?
This was at the podcast. No, that was at Airwolf Studios, that was when we did the Spar Brothers podcast.
And you're wearing the legendary John Carpenter movie.
Yes.
What was the movie called again?
They Live. And that's the shirt made off the phrase in the movie, I'm here to kick ass and chew bubble gum, and I'm all out of bubble gum.
By the way, Tyler, that might be your movie assignment next week.
Whoa, okay.
They Live. Write it down. John Carpenter.
That's it.
Great, which was an important movie for John Carpenter because he'd had a few bombs. So They Live was a big movie for him because it was a sink or swim. Like, hey, dude, you better have a hit with this one.
Well, John Carpenter's his big breakthrough was Halloween. Michael Myers, Jamie Lee Curtis. And then he goes on to do Escape from New York, 1981 with Kurt Russell, which is great. And then where does he go from there?
He had a couple of just movies that didn't do well. Some didn't. I think he did The Thing with Kurt Russell.
Yeah, with Kurt Russell. That was kind of a hit.
I mean, that was an okay hit. And then he had a few others that just didn't do well. So he had gone a couple years in between hits. And They Live came out, I think, 88.
Yeah, 88.
So that was if you look at some of the action movies from say 86 to 88 that were like killing it, Stallone had like 3, Cobra, Over the Top, and Tango and Cash, all big hits. Schwarzenegger had Raw Deal, Predator, and Total Recall. And then I think Van Damme had Bloodsport in 88, and Seagal was starting to, do his thing. So They Live was kind of a throwaway action movie that probably outside of maybe Predator was the most successful one.
Which I can't think of a better segue right now because you weren't here last week, Earl, but I signed I signed Tyler to these movie assignments. The first one was the movie Lucas with Corey Haim and Charlie Sheen, where Charlie Sheen allegedly raped Corey Haim on the set. Allegedly.
No, we've pinpointed when it was, but that's neither here nor there.
What do you mean you pinpointed? You pinpointed where it was in the movie?
Yeah. I mean, but we couldn't tell you what day of shooting, right? Because maybe they shot the first scene on the final day. I don't know. But there is some guys, like, long story short here, there's some guys bullying Lucas. And then Charlie Sheen, he comes over, breaks it up. The lady, are we sponsored now? I'm
trying to get Liquid Death to sponsor us.
And then she thanks Charlie Sheen for breaking it up, and all he says is yeah, it's fine. He did something for me. And it was never explained what the fuck it was that he did for him.
And Tyler thinks it was rape.
That's what I think it was. I think he ad-libbed it on set.
And then we kept it going with the 2 Coreys. We did the vampire movie. What was it called again?
The Lost Boys. Yeah. Which was fun. I like that one.
So he reviewed the Lost Boys. He enjoyed it. The 2 Feldmans or the 2 Coreys, Corey Feldman, Corey Haim. And this week I said, listen, we got to go Stallone. We got to go Cobra. And if I have to have Earl on, because If you don't want, go look back on our YouTube channel. We interviewed Brian Thompson, the Night Slasher. We did a whole hour and a half on him. And I said, Tyler, you have to watch it. So what's your review in front of Earl, who's the biggest Cobra fan of all time?
So fun movie, but I don't understand why they decided at sometimes to be a little more gory and other times to not show shit. It was like anyone who's getting shot with the shotgun, it's like, it's not over the top at all. They don't show anything. And then like,
Over
there's
the
other
top.
times.
Interesting.
And then there's other times where it's like when they're on the, when he's in the bed of the truck and like throws the guy over and he gets, they show him get ran over. I thought that was pretty cool. So it was weird to me why they're choosing when, and maybe they weren't, but the biggest thing that I couldn't stand was the intro sequence of them like clanging their weapons together in unison.
The Axis?
Of course, yeah, like the. I didn't understand that. I couldn't. I was just giggling through that because I was like, but I was also like, maybe this is explained later. But no, like, why would it be explained later? I think that's just like and correct me if I'm wrong, but I think that's just something that like was done in the 80s, right? Like that was just kind of like one of those things. We're trying a new intro here, and that's that.
Earl, I'll let you take it from here.
Well, I mean, originally Cobra was the screenplay for Beverly Hills Cop. And so Stallone was supposed to be Axel Foley. And he said something along the lines of, this is too funny. I'm not really very funny. So we need to make this more violent. So there is a 3-hour cut of Cobra somewhere.
I was just going to say that I saw that there's an uncut version somewhere with some other scenes. Yeah,
that is. And that's basically the X-rated version, not due to sex, but for the violence, which the Night Slasher is in a lot more.
Okay.
So, and there are some, if you look up on YouTube, deleted scenes where you could see where they expand on the Night Slasher's character a little more. So like that scene when they're all clanking the things together was a bigger scene where so it was almost like the opening scene in The Warriors where Cyrus is giving that big speech.
Okay.
But replace that with the Night Slasher. So, because the way the finished cut of Cobra is, the Night Slasher's not even really in it that much. Maybe 10 minutes of an hour and a half movie. So, and I think like that scene at the end that you just referenced where the guy gets thrown out of the truck and that whole end scene was allegedly incredibly violent. It was almost like that last Rambo movie where if you saw that, like that was pretty gory. And it was
the one in the tunnels.
Yeah. Where like, I think the one guy's head got chopped off and they show it. And there were some other pretty gory death scenes. And so I can only imagine what the censors deemed too violent for 1986.
Sure. And so my other takeaway was that Cobra, like he should have been fucking fired. Like
they should have fired Cobra.
Of course.
Why?
I mean, clearly that lady's got Stockholm syndrome after all the shit that he dragged her through, and she's like, all right, I gotta stick with you now.
Yeah, I mean, it's definitely internal affair.
It's like that's a little bit of an issue.
Any Stallone cop movie, they were not very good at their job.
Well, let me ask you this, Tyler. What was your take on Gonzalez and Marion Cobretti's chemistry? They're partners.
I thought it was weird that they're not in the same car.
You didn't like that?
Weird?
Well, I mean, I guess
no, it's not that I didn't like it. I thought like you usually share the same car. Usually
Starsky and Hutch did. Cagney and Lacey did.
Yeah.
Ponce and John were on separate motorcycles. I get it.
But whatever. I thought it was fine. I liked that little bit of comedic relief there between them, right? Like he was like, seemed like he was the only guy that Cobra had like this little bit of like goofiness with, if that makes sense. Stop eating the sweets.
A lot of people don't realize there was a Dirty Harry tie-in to this movie because Gonzalez and the one cop who didn't like Cobra, Andrew Robinson, the one he hit at the end.
Yeah, he's a cunt.
Yeah.
Gonzalez was Clint Eastwood's sidekick in the very first Dirty Harry, and Andrew Robinson was the killer. So there's a nice little movie trivia there for you guys. Dirty Harry, because Cobretti did kind of have a Dirty Harry type vibe.
Sure. Yeah. And the other part that struck me as weird was like just something that I had to be like, okay, that's interesting, is like
dissecting a 1986 film.
Cobra pulls up to his parking spot that's being blocked by these hombres.
Oh yeah,
and
working
he just
too
fucking
hard,
pushes their car out of the way. He rips his shirt and he walks away.
He's bad for his health.
I was impressed that like these guys, all they did was kick his tire once and that was it. And then from there on, they showed them in like another scene and they're like,
then he takes the newspaper, he puts it in the grill and shuts it. And then he cuts his pizza with scissors. Did you think that was weird?
That's another thing. Yeah. The pizza with scissors.
As he cleans his gun.
I also think Cobra has the greatest product placement in movie history.
Pepsi?
Like, I loved that Pepsi thing.
Where he lives right under a Pepsi sign, like, and then in the first supermarket scene where he hides out right the Coors Light, but then
the warm Coors Light,
he hid behind a Pepsi freezer, like, so. Yeah. But that was the 80s, like.
Well, they still do that shit today,
but it's not so obvious. Like you would laugh if that happened today, but back in the 80s, it was like, oh, he just happened to be behind a Coors Light sign.
Yeah.
Now, Earl, did you find it weird that Cobra cuts his pizza while he cleans his gun with his sunglasses on?
Oh, he was wearing his sunglasses everywhere, though. The toothpick was a big one. I mean, I remember growing up, my dad always having a toothpick. Was it a match, though?
Oh, yeah, it was a match.
Is it a match? Okay.
So, well, I also know the guy, he was one of the Night Slasher's henchmen. He directed the movie, but I think Stallone put him in there just because they were best friends in real life. So it's funny to me. Next time you watch Cobra, you'll notice in the credits,
I have a feeling Tyler's not going to watch Cobra again.
I want to find the uncut version, honestly.
I've tried. I mean, I've got some pretty important friends in the world of movies.
We've actually asked the Night Slasher about the uncut version. He had no idea about it.
God damn it. Well, then how do you know it exists?
Well, it's just, there's many deleted scenes in every movie ever made,
Sure.
So, it's just, it's an urban legend at this point. It's never, but it was also Cobra, I think, was a Canon film, and they went out of business. So the master tapes, which would be where that 3-hour cut would be, they could have been burned. They could have been, they could be in literally someone's basement. It's because there's a great documentary, or it used to be on Netflix. I forget what it was called, but it was about the two guys, the Globus brothers, who ran Canon Films, and they were so hyper obsessed with Chuck Norris that any non-Chuck Norris movie was not given much promotion or love.
Is that when Missing in Action was at its all-time high?
Missing in Action. They did, I think, Delta Force with Chuck Norris, of course. Chuck Norris had a bunch of movies in the 80s. Like, he was like Kiss. Kiss in their first year put out 3 albums, which is, you never have seen. But Chuck Norris, he put out, what was the one.
Delta Force was 1986 with Lee Marvin and George Kennedy, right?
And the great black Steve James, who was in. Steve James was like that buff black dude with the mustache, where he just showed up in every karate movie.
He was in I'm Gonna Get You Sucker.
Yeah, he died kind of mysteriously in, I think, 1991. They don't really give a reason. It's just, which makes me believe it might, who knows? It could have been some kind of sexual disease, because they don't really say died of cancer, died of. There were so many celebrities like Steve James who died in the late 80s, early 90s, where they don't really give the cause of death. And that's always a red flag. Not that it matters how they died.
They say pancreatic cancer, but then whenever you actually go in, they don't really.
It means AIDS.
Well, that is, that's definitely one of the, not side effects, but like, one of the common ways people who have HIV or AIDS, they do get pancreatic cancer a lot.
Oh,
so it's, like you remember the guy from, I know we're jumping around a bit, but remember one of the bad guys in Scarface, Sosa? He was the guy who lived on the island, and he was in Raw Deal with Schwarzenegger. He died kind of the same way, where, I think he died in 88. 89, so around the same time frame as Steve James, and it was like they didn't really say how. So, and it was well known that he was gay in real life. It's fine. So it's always interesting to read autopsies of actors who passed in that time frame.
Well, let's cut back to Cobra real quick. Did the actress Nancy Stalk, who played Lee Garlington in the movie Cobra, she was the bad woman. Did you see the turn coming, Tyler? Did you see her as a double agent with the Night Slasher?
Well, yeah, because they showed it plenty of times that she's clearly on the phone with him. But like, at what point, though? You know what I mean? Like,
so you realized quickly that she was the double agent.
Well, yeah. I mean, I don't think that they were even hiding that, were they?
I haven't seen it in a while, so I have no idea.
Okay. Yeah, I don't think they made any attempt to hide that. It was like very much so like they're having a conversation about like the next safe house they're going to move this woman to, and
Brigitte Nielsen.
And then they just like pan down to her on the phone, like
who Stallone was dating in real time at the time. He put his girlfriend in there, Brigitte Nielsen.
Well, he put her at risk with all that crazy driving.
He did put her.
Who the fuck is taking her to the next safe house or whatever? And he's like, oh, there's the bad guys. Sorry, we're going to go chase them now. Like, you're doing the opposite of what you're supposed to do.
How many people
She was also, there's a Dirty Harry tie-in with her, because she was in Sudden Impact. She was one of the bad guys or girls in the last Dirty Harry movie, Sudden Impact.
Is that how Stallone found her?
I'm not sure, but it was that last Dirty Harry movie, I think, was 1983. So, 83 to 86, it adds up. They might have seen her in that and said, no, she's a good bad guy.
So, Earl, let me ask you this. Art LaFleur, who plays Captain Sears in Cobra.
Just died. Passed away, I think, last year.
Did he really?
AIDS.
Yeah.
He died from AIDS?
Send in the Cobra.
Yeah, send in the Cobra. He had a classic line where they had the meeting on top of the rooftop of the parking garage where all the cars came around.
The grocery store, yeah.
The grocery store. What did you think of his performance?
You asking
me?
I
love him. He's a great character actor.
What other movies has he been in?
He was in the Stallone movie Lock Up, which is it's kind of an under the radar Stallone movie. I think came out in 90.
When he was in prison, right?
Yeah, and Art LaFleur was the main, like the dirty cop. And then he's been in I think he was in the Van Damme movie Death Warrant, another prison movie. So he, because he had a great look.
He's got that look.
Yeah, it's just tailor made for be the heavy and any action movie. But I guess in Cobra he was a good guy. So, but I think he usually got the bad guy or the dirty sheriff or the mobster.
Right.
He did have a great character actor face.
I mean, this guy had constant work. It's impressive.
So Tyler, let me ask you this. What did you think of the 1950 Mercury car Cobra drove in?
Oh, fucking gorgeous.
You're down with that?
I would. That'd be my daily driver if I could afford it, for sure.
Now that car chase was pretty legendary. They're going up. Where was that at? Was that in Venice Beach?
There was the Venice Canals, which is, I guess, technically Venice Beach, but it's a subsection of Venice where there's some really nice homes on the canals. And, that was a great car chase scene. Not quite as good as the one in French Connection, but it was probably one of the better car chase scenes from an 80s movie, especially on the freeway when they did the reverse. And
I did like that.
But I also read somewhere that there was 2 endings to the car scene, where the night slasher, I don't know if he dies, but he gets really hurt. And then they, for whatever reason, and they say that you can see it in the final cut of the scene that was in the movie, you see the night slasher's car still in the finished scene from the other scene they filmed. So I think shit. Cobra was a real hot mess while they were filming it, because they filmed, you got to figure even in the 3-hour movie they shot, there was probably extra scenes from that version. So I think that, it's like they say there are certain scenes in Back to the Future, the first one, where you can still see Eric Stoltz's head.
Oh, yeah.
Some of the scenes. So I think Cobra was just like kind of rushed to get it out in theaters. This is when Schwarzenegger and Stallone were basically 1-2 at the box office. So I'm sure, because I remember seeing Cobra as a double feature with Raw Deal, which was Schwarzenegger's movie. So I'm sure it was a rush job to like, hey, Schwarzenegger's got this movie coming out. We got to get Cobra out right now. So chop it up whatever way you can.
Yeah.
So Tyler, what was your thoughts when they did the musical montage to Angel of the City, and they're looking around, they're investigating together as the song's playing?
I'm trying to think, because there's one part that, okay. Yeah. So that was like, they played the whole song through, right?
Yeah. Because Stallone was known for playing the whole fucking song.
So, I made a mental note of that, because I didn't even catch myself.
And Brigitte Nielsen was getting a photo shoot out. She was getting a photo shoot with a robot, I think, if I'm not mistaken.
Oh, the robot stuff was, I'm glad that they went to the robots and didn't leave that out. Sort of, but I noticed maybe 30 seconds in or something to that song, 30 to 45 seconds. Maybe I'm 32, so it's probably part of me growing up. But I realized 30, 45 seconds in that I wound up on my phone, looking at shit, and I was wait, this song's still playing. Yeah. So
you're not a fan of Robert Tepper's "Angel of the City"?
I got to be honest, no. Probably the first time I heard it.
He was Stallone's go-to guy in the mid '80s for I think he did 1 or 2 songs on Rocky IV.
I was waiting for the Dirty Harry connection.
There might be, to be honest with you.
I wouldn't doubt it.
So
you remember Rocky IV when they played "No Easy Way Out"? They played the whole fucking song when he got a fight with Adrian, and he jumps in his Lamborghini. And he does the flashbacks of Rocky 2, 3, and 4. And he's "No Easy Way Out." The whole song plays.
And I want to say he sang "Hearts on Fire," which was that's the training when Stallone's training in Russia. I think
that's when he's in Russia.
So it was a good time in the 80s. If someone liked you, you worked a lot.
So "Angel of the City," are you a fan of that song, Earl?
I like Jean Beauvoir's "Feel the Heat."
Feel the heat. I'm looking at it right now.
He was the black bass player from the Plasmatics, which was a legendary punk band.
Now, Earl, what was the song they were playing as Stallone was taking Brigitte Nielsen to the safe house in the mountains in the truck? He's in the truck. What was that song?
I don't remember. I know the song at the end of the closing credits was John Cafferty and the Beaver Brown Band, Voice of America's Son.
Yeah.
But, I mean, John Cafferty was trying to, like, I think, copy that John Mellencamp type vibe. But I don't remember right now what that song was.
But you remember at the end, the before the Night Slasher, he puts them on the hook. They watered down the streets. I don't know if you noticed that.
Yes, for effect.
It's a pretty popular thing to do,
especially at night
with the lights, reflection, and
night films. The very
and he's in the trailer bed of the car, mowing down people with that machine gun, that little submachine gun, which I liked as a child.
Yeah, no, I mean, I would love to see that scene with the X-rated version of that scene, but that it might be lost forever.
So, what was the Night Slasher pushing? What was that group pushing? I'm trying to figure it out.
World domination.
Right.
Almost like not white power, but
they were the original Proud Boys.
Well, yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, yeah. I mean, because of all the uncut scenes and the sloppy editing, and probably Stallone was like, "Hey, just put me in it as much as you can," which makes sense. I mean, he was, along with Schwarzenegger, the biggest action, maybe even the biggest actor at that time. I mean, I know Top Gun came out in '86. I don't know what came out first, but so I think Stallone probably had a little bit of an ego.
A little bit.
Not that Cobra is Shakespeare, but I do think the movie would have made a lot more sense if the bad guy was in it, say, even 5 minutes more. Just
to give you an idea, Cobra, Stallone's coming off First Blood Part 2 in '85. He's coming off Rocky 4 in '85. And in '86, he got Cobra. And after that, he follows it up with Over the Top, the arm wrestling movie with Lincoln Hawk.
Which is another movie that's, I'm trying to get my one of my lady friends to watch Over the Top because it's out of control, that movie. But,
yeah, it's arm wrestling for like parental custody.
Yeah, and then that kid's never been seen since in a movie. So like you talk about a guy that's tailor-made for my podcast. An actor who hasn't worked in 40 years.
The kid who played Stallone's kid in Over the Top. That should be on the podcast.
Well, I'm genuinely fascinated by that. He was a good-looking kid, pretty good actor based on, that movie. I mean, it wasn't like, oh, this guy sucks as an actor. And then he just never worked again.
What's the kid's name? I'm going to look it up right now because I'm curious.
David Mendenhall.
David Mendenhall, who played Michael Cutler.
So this is going back to Top Gun and Cobra.
Please.
Top Gun's release date was May 16th, and Cobra's release date was May 23rd.
Ooh, they went head to head.
And it's so there's an article from June 4th, 1986, saying that they dueled for the #1 box office status, and Cobra grossed $7.5 million, and then in its first 2 weeks, Cobra totaled $26.4 million, and Top Gun's first week was $6.9 million, so it came in second, and had a 3-week total of $31 million. So Cobra topped it.
So Cobra beat Top Gun?
Yeah.
Dude, how about that with Top Gun blowing up right now? Suck it. Where's Cobra 2?
It's coming.
Where's Cobra 2? Make it happen, Stallone.
I can't wait to see his car.
Well, I mean, I know I saw an article, I think maybe about a year ago, where there was talk of a Cobra TV show.
I can see that.
I mean, I got to be honest with you, I kind of like the Lethal Weapon TV show. So I could see a Cobra TV show, maybe on FX. You'd have to have it on FX, I think, just because I think that's why Sons of Anarchy and the Mayans work, because they have a little more freedom to be, more violent, and there's more sex. That's why I think some shows don't work on like network, like Fox. Lethal Weapon, I think, would have been better on FX or FXX, whatever they have. So, Stallone loves to revisit ideas. So,
big time.
I would not.
He would not he doesn't put ideas to rest.
But I'm still holding out for a Nighthawks TV show
with Rugger Hauer. Is he dead?
That's going to be a tough get because he died a couple of years ago.
So. Oh, okay. Billy Dee Williams is still alive, right?
Yeah, he was Detective Fox in Nighthawks. But
you don't have to tell me twice.
That's another. Stallone has so many unheralded and underrated movies. Nighthawks is a top 5 Stallone movie for me.
1981.
But even that movie has, so many Stallone movies have an interesting story. Like that movie was Rutger Hauer's first American movie. So Stallone, the first scene they filmed was actually the end scene.
And then did Stallone lie to him? Like he did some action stunt that pissed him off throughout the whole film?
Yeah, I mean, which made the movie work because Stallone, when, he's in drag in the kitchen, and he pulls the mask off and he shoots Rutger Hauer. I guess the stunt cable was rigged. I guess it goes on like a 1 to 10 tension scale. And Rutger Hauer was told it was at like a 2 or 3. So be careful. And Stallone had it cranked to 10. And so if you watch that scene, it really does look like Rutger Hauer got shot because his reaction was very genuine, like, what the fuck? So the whole rest of the movie, Rutger Hauer was like, I'm going to outrun him in every scene. I'm going to. And they didn't really have a fight scene necessarily, but, and then I think the director of the movie got fired. And so Stallone said, well, I'll just direct the scenes. And I guess there was a SAG, the Screen Actors Guild, that had a law where an actor couldn't direct scenes they were in. Like there needed to be, for safety reasons, an outside director. And so there was a lot of drama.
Well, didn't Stallone direct Saturday Night Fever too, like a year later?
Yeah, but I don't think he was in it.
He had a cameo.
Okay. I mean, I don't know what the rules are or what they were back then, but I think that, Nighthawks was a lot of pressure for Stallone because, obviously Rocky was still huge. Rocky 2 didn't do quite as well. And then I think he had a movie in 1980, Fist, I think, which was about unions that didn't do very well. And
if I'm not mistaken, Anthony Kiedis is his child in that, his son in the movie Fist.
And Fist, it's one of the few Stallone movies I've never seen. I've just seen snippets of it, but so Nighthawks was a lot of pressure on Stallone because he was like, okay, Rocky was at that point 4 years earlier, so the allure of the movie kind of faded, and Rocky 2, it did well, but it wasn't what Rocky was. I actually like it better than Rocky, but so I think Stallone was under a lot of pressure. And then Rutger Hauer, I think his dad or brother or someone very close to him died the first week of filming. So he was going back and forth from the Netherlands to New York. So that movie had a lot of stuff going on.
So Tyler, let me ask you this, because you've been on record with this podcast saying you're not a Stallone fan.
I'm just not a big I didn't grow up with him.
Right.
Like Stallone to me was like the Expendable movies.
So you saw the shitty version of Stallone.
And then, yeah, now you're having me jump back to 1986 to watch this fucking cool guy.
Now, do you think he's cool in 86? Is Cobra? What's your review of Cobra? Because Rotten Tomatoes gave it 17%. What's Tyler give it?
Of Cobra?
Yeah, they weren't a fan of it.
I mean, I don't know what to compare it to at that time is my issue, right? Like, I'm fucking comparing it to Lost Boys and Lucas right now, man.
Yeah.
I don't know. Like I said, it was fun. I would watch Cobra again before I'd watch Lost Boys, and I thought Lost Boys was fun.
Really?
Yeah, I think so.
Now, how did you watch Cobra? Did you stream it? Did you buy it? Like, what was the story?
No, it's always for free on the internet.
Yeah. Because I'm going to pull this up right now. This is Cobra on Rotten Tomatoes, which everyone goes to for their reviews. And look at this. 18%, audience score 43%. Not a lot of people like
but Stallone movies from that time frame, you know, he's never going to get good reviews from critics. You know, I mean, he's very, misogynistic, you know, kind of.
I was going to say, I assume he was pretty cocky.
But, you know, he's never, even Rocky barely got good reviews. And that's one of the great, not just sports movies, but it's one of the great movies of all time. Like, just in terms of how it got made, how it almost didn't get made, how every studio said no. And basically Stallone said, listen, Stallone passed up, like, you know, he was offered 5 times what he was asking just to not be in it. Like, studios are like, we'll make it, but you can't be in it. And he's like, no, I'll take I'll take $100,000 over $1 million, but I'm going to be in this movie. So
did you guys see Cobra in theater when it came out?
Yes.
Oh, I did. Yeah.
You did?
I did. I went with my abusive stepfather.
I saw it in. I'll never forget. I saw it at the
At the what?
I saw it at the Avco Theater in Westwood, which is at the time, that's where all the big action movies were played. It's where I saw Predator and Showgirls, which was, it's certainly not an action movie, but it's maybe the greatest movie experience I've ever been in a theater where, Showgirls was intended as a serious movie. And I'm not saying the acting was bad, because the cast was pretty amazing in that.
Gina Gershon.
Gina Gershon was a good actress, and Robert Davi. He's like a legit actor. Alan Rasheen, who won Emmys, was the gay choreographer. But in the movie, like 5 minutes in, it was so ridiculous, it turned into a comedy. I'll never forget it. It was the most amazing thing to go into this movie that was written by Joe Esterhaus, who did Basic Instinct. And he had a lot of heat behind him. It was like, this guy's the next great film writer. And just every scene's being laughed at. Like, it was the funnest movie experience I've ever had.
I remember seeing Predator in the theater too. That was like my wheelhouse. 86. I saw Top Gun in the theater, Predator, Cobra. I mean, nobody was bigger than Stallone and Schwarzenegger at that time. Nobody. It was like, they were like fucking legit A-listers. You had to see whatever they were doing, you had to see it.
Go ahead.
No, I mean, that was like, it's ridiculous, as we were just talking about.
Commando.
Commando. I mean, they hit a run of, Commando, Cobra, Raw Deal. Over the Top, Tango and Cash, Total Recall, Predator, obviously. And I know Schwarzenegger was supposed to be in Predator too, but I'm sure he wanted too much money. So, I mean, not Commando, but Raw Deal is it's kind of like Nighthawks for Stallone. It's a very underrated Schwarzenegger movie, and it's really funny. Like, and Robert Davi's in that.
Who's the black lady in the movie? The Vanity?
In what movie?
Raw Deal.
There was no black lady in Raw Deal.
Okay, I'm mixing my movies up. Sorry.
I mean, Vanity was in 52 Pickup, which is probably my favorite movie of all time. It's not necessarily an action movie, but
let's give a shout out to our guy who just passed away.
Which one?
That's true. I don't even know at this point. Who is James Caan? Is he not in 52 Pickup?
No, James Caan was Roy Scheider.
Roy Scheider. Never mind.
Clarence Williams III from the Mod Squad, and my favorite actor of all time, the great villainous John Glover. And then there's an interesting thing with John Glover is there is I think it's a 1984. I don't know how they taped it back then. Probably the camera was probably as big as my TV set. The first table read for Karate Kid, where John Glover was playing the part of Martin Cove, the one he eventually got. And I could totally, if you know who John Glover is, I could totally see him as the evil sensei, because he's like the bad guy in everything he's done. So that would have been interesting.
Now, what are the chances if we spun off this podcast and just did a Cobra podcast? How long would that last?
About 2 weeks.
Like everything.
I mean, we'd have to
Cobra?
get Stallone on. I've reached out to Stallone in so many back channel ways. Say, listen, I know you're probably sick of talking about Rocky and Rambo. Don't worry about it. We're not going to we're going to talk about Nighthawks and Cobra. So he hasn't gotten back to me.
If you can't get Stallone's kid from Over the Top, you're not getting Stallone.
I had a fan of mine. I want you to close your eyes for 2 seconds, both of you, right now.
All right, closed.
A fan sent me this. Hold on. I will tell you to open your eyes when I can get it on.
Oh, boy.
You guys recognize this hat? Open your eyes.
Oh, that's from fucking Over the Top.
A fan sent me I don't know where he got this, the hat from Over the Top. Where Stallone
Turn it around. Now arm wrestle.
Nice.
Let's go.
Nice.
And the great Bull Hurley, he's dead too. So
Was Randall Tex Cobb in Over the Top?
you'd think he would have been. I'm trying to think who was in Over the Top. Scott Norton, pretty famous pro wrestler. He was in the NWO. A lot of pro arm wrestlers. Terry Funk, legendary pro wrestler.
Of course.
I saw Terry Funk wrestle in XPW. It was out of his mind. I called him a fag from the crowd, and he started climbing the stands to get me.
That's a good heckle.
Yeah. Well, I also, that's my go-to heckle.
Fag?
And I remember I had a friend of mine. He used to work at Staples Center, which is now called Crypto.com Arena. And
Shout out Kobe Bryant.
he, what are you, Ari Shafir? And Batista walked by me, and my friend would always put me in the front row to get me on TV. And I yelled at the top of my lungs, "You faggot!" And Batista gets in my face, like an inch from my face, and pokes me on the chest and goes, "Takes one to know one, pal." And
Great comeback.
I mean, it kind of was when you're as big as he is. But that's, the 80s movies, it's most of them don't hold up, those mid 80s action movies, but some do. Like Commando is still a good,
I like Commando.
80s action movie, of course, with Bill Duke, who was Schwarzenegger's comrade in Predator, and David Patrick Kelly. Always good cast in those mid 80s movies.
While Kobe Bryant's body was on the ground with his daughter and families, Ari decided to tweet out, Kobe Bryant died 23 years too late today. He got away with rape because all the Hollywood liberals who attack comedy enjoy rooting for the Lakers more than they dislike rape. Big ups to the hero who forgot to gas up the chopper. I hate the Lakers. What a great day.
God.
He tweeted that out in front of the Charlotte Arena.
Well, so that's the other thing, right? Is it was like, I think it was like almost perfect timing for Ari. Like, how could he not? Because he is right in front of where the fucking Charlotte Bobcats play.
Where Kobe Bryant was drafted.
Right.
And then, but meanwhile, Kobe, his dead body's on the ground. They're scooping him up still. And they don't know words out about the daughter and the families.
Right. No one knew about the fan. Yeah. Everyone at that point just assumed it was just Kobe. That was right before the Pro Bowl, NFL Pro Bowl game.
It was right before COVID too.
Better times.
Yeah, I mean, Ari keeps it real. You got to give him that. That's probably not a joke I would have done because I would have been frankly too scared.
You would have guessed right.
But in some ways you can't cancel me because what are you going to take from me? A $20 spot in the OR at the store?
We're going to take away the Ric Flair roast, which you can watch man on pay-per-view.
Jeff Ross still has a week to do that.
Yeah, you might not be because of history with you and Jeff Ross, you might not be on this roast. Who knows? We'll see.
Trust me, I've got a Jeff Ross joke that will be told.
And here it is. You can get it on StarCast. Where's this at? StarCast.com. I'm going to buy this fucking pay-per-view, dude.
Yeah. I mean, I was going through that site and like looking at that meet and greets page. There is a ton of people.
Oh, it's going to be, I'm starting to get excited because it's basically a wrestling convention, and I think I get a free picture with Ric Flair, so I'm down with that. So,
and Bret Hart's going to be there.
I mean,
tons of names. I'm not a big wrestling guy.
Kevin Nash
at all, but
Mick
so
Foley.
many names that even I recognize here. It's.
But I'm also excited because I think most of these people will be at least backstage at the roast.
Teddy Long's going to be there. Price to be announced. That's not good.
Yeah, $5.
Ron Simmons.
So I'm very excited to, just walk around backstage at the roast because, I don't want to say who, but I did a show recently where it was a very heavily attended show from one particular wrestling promotion, but there was also some people from the other wrestling promotion there.
Lex Luger's there in his wheelchair.
Yeah, I mean, DDP, I'll be talking to him in about an hour.
Is he doing your podcast?
No, I'm just helping the Nasty Boys. I'm helping. So I can't do when I met Tony. I met him at that show I was just talking about, and it was pretty awesome.
Are you signing autographs? How much you charging?
I mean, looking at this list, I probably
TA? Is he still alive?
Yeah.
$39.
Wait, don't scroll past JJ Dillon too fast. I'd pay for a JJ Dillon picture.
Where's JJ Dillon? Tully Blanchard.
I think he was.
There he is.
There he is.
That's not too bad.
The Four Horsemen are all in the house. You could get a photo with the Four Horsemen, Tully Blanchard, all of them.
I mean, with the amount of work I'm doing on this roast, I'm not paying for any fucking pictures. I got some real home run jokes too. I don't want to say it now, but I got some good ones on Flair.
I can't wait to watch, dude. I'm really happy for you because I know you're a big wrestling guy and Ric Flair is like the legend, and the fact that you're a part of this without Jeff Ross is awesome.
I know. And
because Jeff Ross has held you down under the water. He fucked you up. You beat what's his name with the headset? What's his name from the foreign dude?
Jimmy Carr.
You beat Jimmy Carr. You weren't a part of the narrative. You were the underdog. you're supposed to move forward, and they fucked you up, and he's fucked your whole career up. I'm saying this, not him or you. So I'm excited for you. This is going to be fun.
Well, the funny thing is, I'll see Jeff tonight because I have a main room spot and Roast Battle's on at the same time, and I love bumping into him because it's not awkward from my end at all because I never said anything I don't mean about him.
So you're on. So Earl, you're on record by saying you're not a big fan of Jeff Ross.
Oh, he's awful. He's a disgusting person.
Oh, okay. That's a little further than I was trying to say.
That's pretty spot on. Last time we were here with Earl, that hasn't changed.
But I don't
Tyler,
take back one word. But I've even stood up for him in terms of like the allegations, and we all know what they were. I said, hey, his side should be heard too, like, which I do believe. Like, so I in a weird way, I've kind of stood up for the guy. So, I don't take back anything I've said.
Where do you ever bump your mic?
What?
You ever bump your mic? Did you ever bump your mic with him?
No. Well, I mean, he's so lazy that one time I opened for him because I was curious. I was like, oh, I've never really seen his stand up. I wonder what it's like. So I opened for him at the Irvine Improv, and I had a pretty good set. I didn't kill, but for the opening act, I did pretty good. And then he does about 10 minutes of stand up, and then he calls me on stage to help him roast the crowd. Like, what? It's out of control.
Earl, before we wrap up, where do you stand with Dante, the comedian of Golden Artist Entertainment?
Dante Chang, Dante Ruscicelli. I mean, there's a couple.
Dante, the comedian / manager of Ron Jeremy.
Well, I'd like to congratulate him. He just put out a post that he was the 217th ranked management company. Like, what? There's only like 5 management companies people care about. 3 Arts, a couple others. And Dante literally sent out a tweet. Hey, everyone. I just want to say Golden Artist Agency has been named one of the top 217 management companies. And it's like, huh? So he's a fraud, another fraud. So, go on Golden Artist Entertainment. It's literally the worst client roster.
So him and his girlfriend, right? Is that accurate?
I mean, she's nice. I mean, I've done a few shows with her, but she's completely clueless.
She probably thinks he's a star, right?
Oh yeah. I mean, what manager has the time to go to a Black Lives Matter rally? Like that's a good cause. Like, let's look at this roster. Stop the page right there.
Cedric the Entertainer.
I know the blonde girl. She was in Sons of Anarchy. She literally hasn't worked since signing to Golden Artist Entertainment. That's Paris Hilton.
She's the new black girl.
Well, I know her from Sons of Anarchy, but hold on, don't go anywhere yet. That's the guy in the middle. That's Perez Hilton. He's famous on his own.
Yeah.
Cedric the Entertainer is not managed by Golden Artist Entertainment. That's a lie.
That's a lie.
I don't know who these next 3 is. That's not a good sign. Jimmy Walker gets his own gigs, basically.
Roger Paul books him.
But you think Jimmy Walker needs Dante's help to get him that cash call commercial? The girl with the big tits, who knows who she is? I mean, the dime a dozen.
That's her credit. That's always her credit.
The black girl with the big cans, she's in Baywatch. She doesn't need Dante's help. Keep going. Morris Day. All right, pause it right here. Morris Day gets
from the fucking Prince movie?
Yeah. Guy literally hasn't worked in 40 years. Kato Kalin, friends with a double murderer. I think Aubrey O'Day, some weathered looking girl who looks like Brett Michaels. Marsha Warfield, she gets her own gigs.
From Night Court.
I don't know who the guy in the middle is. This one, Bobby Brown, I've had her on my podcast. That's not a good sign.
Michael Winslow. He lives in Florida now.
If you take out Police Academy on IMDb, it's never worked. Keith Coogan hasn't been in the movie, and the last thing Keith Coogan did was a podcast with me.
What about Jackie Martland from the Howard Stern Show?
I mean, he gets his own gigs. I don't know. I'm assuming that's an American Idol person. But I mean, that's the insane thing is all these people can really get he gets these people who get their own work.
I will say this, Dante.
But it looks like he's a good manager because these people work, but they work because they can get their own shit.
I will say this. I just found out from Who Are These Podcasts that Dante actually fired Stuttering John. Stuttering John was on the roster and they got rid of him because of all the fucking nonsense that comes with him. So the fact that you got fired from Golding Artist Entertainment, it's not a good sign of who you are.
Yeah, I mean, Stuttering John, that's another guy who, because of his association with Stern and later Leno, like he can get his own gigs. Like, so like notice not one person is a young and upcoming actor or actress. They're all people who were has-beens 10 to 40 years ago.
Why don't they have, who was the slow clapper, that comedian that was around our time? What was his name?
I don't know.
Yeah, you do. His whole claim to fame was Not Another Teen Movie, The Slow Clapper. And he went, Kyle Cease.
Oh, yeah. Well, that Kyle gets his own gigs. Like now he's a positive thinking guy or whatever. It's really almost an ingenious client roster because, Jimmy Walker could literally call comedy clubs himself and go, hey, it's JJ from Not What's Happening, the Good Times. Okay, cool. You want to do a weekend? And Dante gets the cut. And he probably literally did nothing. I mean, how do you do comedy for 30 years and you don't have one special out? Like, what?
Was he on Last Comic Standing?
Yeah, his claim to fame is being on Last Comic Standing, getting kicked out first, like in the top 10. So he finished 10th in a reality show.
My favorite thing about Earl is he never lets go of this shit, and I love it.
I had Annie Letterman the other day in the main room at the Comedy Store right before I went on. She said, you got to let go of your thing with Jeff. I'm like, no, man. I'm not going to let go. I'm going to press down harder.
Why did she want you to let go?
Well, everyone wants you to let go when they didn't get fucked over. It's literally how many times, I don't know about you guys, but every time I've been cheated on by a broad, you get the standard, you don't need them. You can find something better. There's more fish in the sea, all that shit. And then when that person who gave you that advice gets cheated on, they're like, fuck that cunt, that fucking bitch. I'm like, oh, well, what happened to there's more fish in the sea? So I guarantee you, if you guys got fucked over like I did on Roast Battle, you'd still feel the same way I did.
No, I bond with you. I thrive off revenge and spite. I'm with you. Trust me. There's Cleveland comics I cannot stand to this day because they turned on me. Trust me. Alan Cox, the guy I worked for, I want nothing but terrible endings for him for what he did to me behind the scenes. Trust me. I'm with you, dude. I feel it. We're kindred spirits.
Because I think when you let things go, or I'll just let karma handle it. You set off a giant bat signal saying, hey, you can fuck me over and nothing bad's going to happen to you.
And that's what Tyler does with Frijon Media.
That's right. Get the fuck on out of here. Jesus Christ.
God damn it. Earl, plug away, buddy. We're going to wrap this bitch up.
Just at Earl Skakel everywhere, EARL SKAKEL, and 2 podcasts, Inappropriate Earl, of course, as you guys know, and then the Comedy Store Wrestling podcast. So if you like pro wrestling, we're doing our best to build it and get bigger and better guests. Hopefully after the Ric Flair roast, I'll be able to lure some bigger names for us. And the Ric Flair roast, which is July 29th in Nashville. It's on Fight TV, FITE, I believe. I'm not sure how much it costs, but, it's a great lineup. Once again, if you like pro wrestling, it's Tori Wilson, Bischoff, DDP, the Nasty Boys.
And you're writing for everybody.
I mean, it's a lot of work, but when you're writing for other people on the dais, it's tough because like we were saying before we started, I got to say my best jokes for me.
Fuck them.
But I also have to give them good jokes, because if they bomb, the first question is going to be, well, who wrote for DDP? Earl. Or Bischoff or whoever, but it should be a great night. Like I said, I think there'll be some surprise pop-ins, and I'm sure there'll be some unannounced people who can't say, hey, so-and-so will be here because the WWE,
Buff Bagwell.
Buff Bagwell will probably be there, but with not SmackDown, but with SummerSlam being the next night, I'm sure there'll be a lot of WWE guys backstage. They can't be seen on TV, but
Nick Nemeth.
I'm sure he'll be there. Kevin Nash. I mean, he's not with WWE anymore, but so I'm excited. It'll be a fun weekend.
No, I'm looking forward to it. I'm going to watch it, actually. Tyler, what do you got to plug?
What do you think?
Your ass.
my ass. Nothing.
Well, first of all, Tyler, thanks for the movie review. Earl, what should we assign Tyler for next week?
Well, you said They Live, right?
They Live with Roddy Piper. That'd be great.
Well, yeah, you could go. We'll give you some options. They Live with Roddy Piper. Over the Top, a Raw Deal with Schwarzenegger. We're trying to give you some lesser known options. Shocker is a great. That was the next franchise by Wes Craven. They were clearly going for we need a new Freddy Krueger, and that was the one they really put a lot of money into that movie, and it just didn't do well. But I love it. It's about a guy, a serial killer. If you like X-Files, it's Mitch Pileggi, the bald actor. He thrives off of electricity. So to kill people, he needs to feed his body electricity. It just, Pete Berg's the good guy, and he's a pretty famous director now. So Shocker's a nice option.
I say let's just go with They Live, because that's the Universal. We have John Carpenter come in, and I want your review on They Live, starring the great Roddy Piper, Earl Skakel's host. So
done.
There it is. They Live next week, guys. Thank you so much. Sign up to the Patreon for as little as $3. Leave a 5-star review. Follow Inappropriate Earl on the iTunes. Leave a 5-star review on that. I am the Z-Man, Florida's greatest comedian. With me is Tyler, and always the great Earl Skakel, who joins us pretty much once a month from West Hollywood. That's a wrap. Count the votes.